Hey guys, how's it going? Episode 2 of the, I guess we sort of decided on the Diet Soda podcast.
Diet soda, yeah.
Yeah, it's still not like 100%, but we're gonna try this out. We're still gonna do some research, like if someone, else has this name.
Yeah,
or-
we want to crowdsource our naming, like
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
how they call the two. You're two idiots.
Yeah, guys, by the way, feel free. I'd actually say, yeah, like if you guys can come up with a name that you think like sort of fits the two of us, I'm down.
I don't know. I really like Diet soda. I wanted to call it like Diet Coke or something like that, but we couldn't do that. I mean, we could. Could we?
Do you love it that much? Like,
What, Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I like it, but it's not like.
Oh, bro, that's the lifeblood, bro. That's honestly, I think I'm more addicted to that stuff than nicotine.
You still smoke?
I hit the vape every now and then.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
still?
slippery slope, man.
Because apparently that shit's like, I mean, at least the stuff I hear and stuff now that's coming out that like it's not that good. I mean,
The
it's not-
vaping? Oh, dude, for sure, some devices are just harsh. Like, just way too harsh, right? Because, I mean, like, the disposable ones, I never really had too many problems with them. Obviously, hygiene and stuff like that, because, people think it's because it looks nice. They don't think it gets dirty. So people
No,
leave
my thing is like I think now
With the
they're finding out like
inflammation stuff,
the shit inside is.
Yeah, so, I mean, in the US, all the stories were about, actually, they were about, like, bootleg THC vapes.
Oh, yeah?
Right? So, because people getting fake stuff and then, just putting it with oil and then it fires wrong and then it delivers some hot smoke to your lungs. I remember we used to talk about how after you vape, because nothing hits you as hard as that vape, right? The breathlessness afterwards and like you're like, you wheeze and,
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you hit it like on a consistent basis.
I mean, like Midwag, like Doha.
No, just a vape. I mean, Doha was pretty bad too.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Doha is basically like it's
Yeah.
popular in the Middle East, I guess. Is it all over Middle East or just like
pretty
UAE
Middle
thing?
East, Iran.
Yeah, I don't even
yeah.
like Pakistan, like people.
Oh, yeah?
do it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically it's like a high concentrate tobacco, I
It's
guess.
like, I call it unrefined. I don't know what people call it. They
Yeah.
call it unrefined
But
tobacco.
it's
I don't
pretty
know
much
what.
like it's very strong tobacco. You basically put it in a pipe, burn the tobacco, smoke it, and it sort of gives you like a buzz sensation.
Not
like,
a sort of buzz, bro. People call it it's a strong buzz.
but I mean, like basically, like imagine like a 5-10 second like nicotine rush.
Yeah, straight
that's
up.
like and then like it's
Like
not like it
you,
gets you higher.
For all of you who smoked before, your first cigarette, that little, when your head gets a little woozy.
yeah.
So imagine that pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
For about 10.
I mean,
10 seconds.
it didn't hit like afterwards though.
It hit in the first hit of the day would gee, remember when I took that hit in front of your
No,
house?
that was you, man. I mean, guys, we have some ammo on Danny. No, but I don't know. For me, like, once I've been smoking for a minute. It happened like because sometimes I just stop and I just get back to cigarettes, and then like I'd smoke after a while. Then it happened. But when I was smoking regular, I barely used to feel buzzed.
Yeah, but you still so basically you get buzzed because it just delivers so much nicotine to your system in one go, and you get lightheaded, and
Yeah.
it's nice. I mean, a lot of people like it, and of course, nicotine is highly addictive. So
Oh, yeah.
you crave that.
I
dofa.
think that is like more addictive than like cigarettes.
Oh, defo, man.
Because like
Defo.
with cigarettes, like I guess there's not that much sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is also just becomes a habit. So you sort of have like an oral fixation,
Yeah.
and not like the Pornhub type
Oh, my
guys.
goodness.
Asa Akira. No, I think she had like oral fixation. But anyway, get off the. But yeah, it's it's the habit, and after food things like it just becomes a habit. Whereas like with Doha, it's actually like you that sensation like you crave the nicotine then,
Oh,
and
definitely.
you crave that buzz, things like that.
I mean, was the routine for most people is you wake up and you have
Yeah.
your morning bowl or your morning head is what people call it, and that's the one that hits you the hardest.
Yeah.
And then usually I think it's like after every meal, the sort of standard issue with a couple in
Well,
between.
depends in college.
Yeah, in uni and stuff, we used to hit it like a lot.
I dude, in uni, I feel like just smoking in general, whether it's
Yeah.
cigs or everything, it was like on a mad. I remember even in my old uni, dude, you go outside, it's just like and I remember like when I started, like cigarettes weren't even that expensive. Like now, they have the
now
tax and
double
stuff.
the price, yeah.
Back then, it was like maybe $10-11.
Yeah,
Do a light segment, so like, oh my god, it was like,
everybody on it.
oh, and I think that's definitely like a thing of like in this region. I don't know if like cigarette smoker is like that big like outside. I don't know because like even over here, like if you guys go like in the mall parking lots, I mean it's like a chimney and they're like you know people just like going.
Yeah, because I mean they don't really have a lot of vices over here, and cigarettes are comparatively a lot cheaper than the rest of the world. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I think in the UK and stuff, my homies were telling me like it's 50 dirhams almost for a pack of cigarettes. This is ludicrous, man. It's like what, $15, a little more.
I think my cousin was telling me in Australia it's something mad. I think it's like $16 or something.
Oof. US or Australian dollars?
I think Australian. Well, it was like madness. Like, I don't know, 16 or 20. It was something like expensive, but
stupid money. But over here it's still pretty cheap, man. 22 gets you a pack still. Just about, right?
I mean, and that's like the like Marlboro and stuff. You can get like cheaper stuff.
Yeah, people get cheaper.
And
stuff,
there's also like over here, like from the airport and stuff, you can get it cheap.
Yeah,
so it's like
duty free.
But yeah, no, I guess that's probably it. I don't know. I guess like there's no. I don't know. You think there's that much like news and PR out here that they're like, oh, smoking is this bad for you?
Well, I mean, look, they got the ads on all the packs.
Yeah.
But you know that doesn't really do much for people.
Yeah.
And especially because uni kids over here, we don't even they start in high school, man, because there's not a lot to do. At least you know by those sort of like how do I say it, movie standards of fun.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not so easy to get booze for a lot of people, and oftentimes it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids just smoke and drink tea, you know. And then doha is a big part of that. So because it's like, you know, the one guy who has doha in the group. I mean, you know, if you're blessed, if you roll in that group where everyone has their own set, that's cool. But it's usually that one guy who bears the burden of the group, you know. And everyone just smoking from the pipe. You got to keep the pipe clean, you know. Doha's finishing. And then, you know, when doha got expensive, it got really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
You know
it would double the price.
Yeah,
almost.
straight up, you know. Oh, man.
I mean, I guess like back home, dude, kids, because like over there, they don't care. Like an 8-year-old can walk into a store, be like, yeah, give me 2 cartons of Marlboros. You'd be like, it's this much money.
Yeah.
And if you over there, it's a different issue. You can get Xannies, you can get anything off a store. It's nothing. But back home, it's legit. Like that's a big problem. Yeah. Like smoking is. Dude, I think maybe I have like one cousin that doesn't smoke. Everyone's just like, and you see it everywhere, like, and it's like, just whatever, you know. So I do think maybe it's like and again, like it's very cheap out there, very cheap. I think it's like, if you get like because they have like Marlboro and stuff, which is I think made in Afghanistan or something, and that's just like maybe like less than 10 dirhams, maybe. 8 dirhams, 6 dirhams. Depending also, you get some other stuff. Benson. It's like a saying over there. No tension, smoke Benson.
Oh my goodness. No, man. No. The doha was definitely part. Like, so that's the thing. So I used to be a heavy smoker, I'd say, with the doha.
You didn't really have one for a long time.
I didn't carry my own stuff outside with me. I did. This is a bit of a secret with Famo, but I did have a little set at home.
I know you had one small one, right?
Yeah, that'd be like a safety thing, just like, you know, at home, whatever. Because I used to actually start smoking my morning bowls at home because I just get too buzzed in public. You know, I start drooling and like I smoke it. I start drooling. My face is all gone. Like, you know what I mean? I can't compose myself. And I fell down in front of Famo and one of our friends, Wajamir, and I could not get up. I was like, you know, I dropped the lighter and I went down to pick it up and I went straight back down to the ground. I was like, guys, I can't move. But, you know, these obviously my good friends were laughing at me.
You know, got the phones out, World Star. Basically, what he looked like was, you know, like I think it was like in Wolf of Wall Street. When Jordan Belfort is on, he takes those lewds and they sort of kick in afterwards. That's what he kind of looked like. Which like I don't know. It's like so overexaggerated because I don't see that many people react that way.
Yeah, but I could not get up. Believe me, bro. If I could, I would, but I couldn't.
I actually used to have it bad. I remember like when I was much younger. I think maybe 16, 17. And at that time, I think I might have even been younger. And like my parents didn't know I smoke and shit. So I'd actually go down. And I remember this one time, right? So I went to some place and I got this like, and because I was a kid, they won't let you easily try and things like that, right? Yeah. So basically, if you guys wonder how it works here, so you have specific doha stores, like tobacco stores that sell doha. You can go there. You try different stuff. So there's stuff that's sort of cool on your throat, warm on your throat. different sort of thing for each buddy, right? So I went in there, and he's like, "Yo, this is strong, whatever," right? So, and I want to try it, but he's like, "Yo, this and that." I'm like, "Cool, give it." And this was one of those hot dokhas. Dude, I still remember. So I used to go down, like, smoke in the morning, whatever, and I go a bit far, and it's hot. I'm young and whatever. Didn't drink water, like I just didn't believe in that. So dude, I still remember I was so messed up.
Yeah.
Like legit, it took me like a good 5-7 minutes just to gather myself. I went to like there's like a toilet and there's like a little commercial area, washed my face, everything, and then I went. But like it was mad, man. I was like, dude, this is like messed up.
I remember smoking dokha first time would have been 15.
Okay.
And
Were you hooked automatic?
No. I didn't mess with that stuff. Because I technically didn't even really smoke the dokha. So what happened was, it was like end of school, and one of my homies calls me up. He's like, "Yo, come to the bathroom. I need you to look out for me." I was like, "Yeah, man, sure. What up?" And I went into the bathroom. He's like, "Yo, close the door. Make sure nobody comes in." I was like, "Okay, I got you." And he pulls out the pipe and scoops it and all. And I was like, "What's going on, bro?" Like, is this a movie? And then he smokes it and he gets buzzed and he looks at me. He's like, "Yo, don't tell anybody." He's like, "It's marijuana." And I'm like, "Oh, for real?" And he's like, yeah, man. You want to hit it? And he's smiling, I thought he was excited for me to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I smoked basically what was his ash in the dough. So guys, it's just one hit. You kind of burn up whatever's in the bowl and you ash it out. Yeah. And he didn't ash this out and he just gave it to me. And I hit the ash, didn't even inhale. I was like, and he's like, "Yo, don't tell anybody, okay?" I was like, "Bro, I got you. Don't worry." And the whole day I was bugging out. I was like, "Dude, I'm high. I'm so faded right now." I was sitting on the bus going home. I was like, "Yo, my mom's she's a doctor. Is she gonna see?" I just got it on my mind. He told me. And then of course, me being me, I went and told a bunch of my buddies. Like I was like, "Yo, guess what? I'll go on in the bathroom and sing." You know what I mean?
Smoke the marijuana.
Yeah, the ganja and my meditation. And then he told me about it a week later. I look like a fucking fool, man. I'll tell you that much. I look like such a fool.
Dude, I remember my first time. So I don't know what I was doing, but I was hanging out with some like brown goons, which were like my regular circle. So I'm there and like they obviously like been smoking, like It's like, it's been 8 years. It's like, dude, we're 14. I'd say we're about like maybe around 15 at the time.
Yeah.
So what? And like these guys were so overboard. They're like, sit down like next to the car so the wind doesn't like this whole spiel, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I do that, and it was like in an open parking lot, so there's a bit of wind, whatever.
Yeah.
I do it, didn't like smoke it, right? Whatever. I was like, whatever, right? So after that. I remember, I think it was like, so this is in year 11, I still remember. And I think we had like weekend detention or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I remember, I was chilling with the boys. And like my buddy actually had a minivan, so that was lit, right? So like the gang.
Oh, that was cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, and I remember these guys, they were like smoking though. And they're just like, they exaggerate, "Oh man.
Bro, this stuff, bro. You can't handle it,
Oh yeah, like this. I remember this Iranian dude and this Indian buddy of mine. Oh, bro, like just like hyping the shit up. And at the time, actually, I didn't even used to smoke like that because like I was sort of like on a health kick, so I was like working out, whatever. And then I was like, okay, let's try it. And I hit it right. And dude, the buzz, I was like, whoa. And after that, I still remember like we did that. I remember we went to Mickey D's. And we was like eating, and I'm like, "Yo, can I get a hit?" Boom, another one. And then like for some time, I was like using my buddy's dokha, and eventually,
Then you got the concealed carry.
Yeah. And then it's ruined my life.
Yeah, no, man. Honestly, like in Bahrain and stuff, I went too far with that, dude. I got like, and I started getting cool pipes. Like I got like an axe pipe. I used to take pictures and put it up on BBM of me smoking on the balcony. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like impressing the girls and whatever. You know what I mean? And I got like this.
Oh wait, no, you said attempt to.
Okay, attempting to impress the girls. Yeah, that's what's up. So far as I cannot believe I'm telling you this story. It's so dumb. Okay, but Wagwan there was a tobacco shop called 7211 in Bahrain. Okay, not 7-Eleven, 7211. And they sold like dokha, cigars and like Zippo lighters, cigar cutter, all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? And I remember I used to walk in and I used to think I was like buddy with like the guy who owns the store. I used to think I was like Tony Soprano, I come in, shake everybody's hand, sit down, drink a juice, and these guys would be like, man, who is this kid? You know what I mean? And I remember he was like, he's something, man. He pulled out like a big pot of docha and like a big jar. And I was like, oh, is that new? And he was looking at me like, yeah, this is the new stock, whatever. I was like, yo, let me try it. He's like, okay, man, try it. And I smoked it. It was pretty solid. And I was like, what's the name of this one? He was like, I don't know, no name. I was like, okay, boss. From today, you call it Daniel Docha. And I started advertising it on like BBM and stuff like that, like sending what's it called, a broadcast? Yeah, sending a broadcast like, hey, yo, hit up 7211 for the best docha in town, Daniel Docha, ask him for it. I remember, but it was so stupid, bro. And like this one guy who like knew a friend of mine, he was like, yo, I'm a friend of Catherine's. Like, she said that you got the best docha in town. You think I'm joking, bro, but this is like some 15-year-old nonsense on BBM. And I was like, yo, first of all, I ain't got no friends.
No way.
I swear to God, man. I swear to God, I said that.
So it's a good thing I met him when he was 19.
Yeah, I did that stuff, man. And then, like, I don't know, I like
like you see, like you needed to get expelled. Like you needed that, man. Like, to, wake up.
Oh man, yeah, I needed that wake up call. Well, I watched too many gangster movies as a kid. I watched like when I was like 14. Now I was like 13, and I watched Scarface and Goodfellas. I watched the entire Sopranos. I love that stuff.
One thing I gotta give to these tobacco stores is they really make you feel special. Like, so I remember, right? I used to go. So for the OGs listening, the Dubai dudes, or even like Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, Bin Khomeri, right? Bin Khomeri, like near Jumeirah, right? There's Iranian guy Saeed, and he'd be like, so with Doha, like the thing is, once you sort of smoked one, it's hard to tell the difference between what you smoked, right? So he'd actually take me to the back. He's like, oh, come, and you're like, all right, like and he just make you like try stuff. And and he had all kinds of names like G55, Bentley, like all these kind of names, right?
B52.
And I remember him like just hyping it out, like taking the bite. This one, you gonna smoke this? You will see Shah Rukh Khan. And he just be like saying like all kinds of stupid shit, right? I remember once I took my cousin, right? And we go there, and we're like, yo, give us like the best shit, whatever. He's like. Boy, this one, Danger. We're like, what? He's like, Danger. We're like, dude, what the fuck is this guy saying, right? He's like, on the road, you see X? We're like, danger? Danger. And he's like, oh, this one is, and so that was the thing. And they make you feel, right? You come in.
Yeah.
So, Omar, and then, they come, they give you the juice, and like, pani. And you're like, no, I wouldn't. Bye, come on. It's like water. You want to try this? You want to do that? Oh, dude, and the hustling.
Oh yeah.
That was the funny shit, right? So you guys go buy like a shisha or something, right?
Yeah.
And he tell you like, local now. He bought for 300. I give you 80 dirham. Just take. And he's like, he's like, just look, you are like my brother. And they give you the whole shit. Iran, Pakistan, like brother. For you, 80 last. Just this Land Cruiser, he is going 300 like this, and you'll be like, all right, man, like.
Oh man, do you remember the they hustle you with the camel bone pipes and the ivory pipes and the?
You think that's just legit?
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, it's a camel bone. What is it? I think did they have like dog bone?
The killer was carbon fiber.
Oh yeah.
Carbon fiber pipe. All lies, man. It's all lies, bro.
Oof, man. No, that shit was like.
It
was cool, like for what it was. Like, at the time,
I mean, it's our own little thing, your own little slice of the culture.
I still remember, like, and like again, like being like foolish. So I remember when I got my car. So you must have seen it. So basically, guys, at the tobacco stores, they let you try the tobacco and stuff, right? And they have like matches and stuff because a lot of like the OGs, they like to light the tobacco with the matches, right? So you'd see like on their things, you know, they'd have those like strips, the match strip.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah,
you just like pick up a match and then just like light it.
yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
I actually got a strip, and guess what I put in?
In your car.
Steering wheel.
On the steering wheel. You send the pictures to the girls. Okay, I think I'm still worse.
Dude, and I thought I was like the coolest dude. I had it on my thing, and it was just like, you know, get a match and then just like
Do you know all the docha connoisseurs? Yeah, you know the guys who like, you know, oh, what's docha is this? You pick it up, you know, they unscrew it, put their thumb on the top, shake it, look at their finger. Oh, bro, this has henna, bro. It's
I remember that was the thing, and they'd be like, yo, like this store, they put sand in it, they put this in it, and there was that.
And you know the guys like, you know, they smoke with the match, and I'll be like, oh, bro, why you suffering, bro? Why you doing this here? He'll be like, the butane spoils the flavor, you know? Some nonsense like that, bro.
So you guys know, because like we're in Dubai, and like Dubai's by the sea, so even in the summertime, there's like a breeze going on.
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
So like using matches outside is not ideal for like lighting up tobacco, but
Oh, man.
yeah, man.
And the thing about docha was, I mean, you could sort of get away with it and not tell our parents. Like, our parents wouldn't know, because cigarettes used to stank. They used to leave it on your fingers and your lips and stuff like that. Docha did smell a bit, but it'd be gone in, you know,
Yeah.
with a quick spray of the perfume and a little bit of gum.
And I guess it's one of those things too that like, unless you know the smell, like I don't think it's like, even if like like let's say we just smoke, we come up to our place and like our parents are there, I don't think it's not recognizable enough that they say, oh, like he's smoking or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that was also like for the kids. Like I remember in school, it was very popular. A lot of kids smoking, things like that. And even like in the home toilets, you know, you got the exhaust thing. So you know, I think that was also probably a big
We used to
part
turn
of
the
it.
shower on
Yeah.
with the make it hot, like hot water, and
Yeah.
the steam would mask the smell. Actually, my mom's found my set, because I used to leave it in my school bag. I just didn't clean my pipe for a minute, and it just, you know, it had like a smell or whatever.
Oh yeah, man.
And she
when you
pulled
don't
up
clean
and she's
it,
like, what is this? You know what I mean? So, and I remember lots of times, man, like, dude, I remember one time I went to a party and it got like stopped by the police or something like that.
huh?
Yeah, this is like when I was a kid, you know what I mean? Because they had some complaints about noise or whatever. And so, like, you know, a couple guys, like, we were out and we saw the cars. We're like, oh, dude, police at the party. I remember, like, threw away my docha and stuff like that. It's like, yo, if they catch me, you know, I'm underage smoking, you know, man, you know, some dumb shit back in the day.
Oh man.
Those were the days, man, you know?
I liked it. I mean, it was like I mean, now I look back, I didn't like it, but like there was like a culture to it. There was like I got this new one.
Yeah.
Try. So I don't know if like the main guys like sort of thought this through and they had this game plan that this is how we're gonna sell it and this will sort of be the experience. But it was an experience.
Definitely, yeah. There's all the, you know, the sayings like, you gotta drink a laban up after docha because, you know, it like, it neutralizes the, he's like, bro, it tastes so good after docha. You know? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But it was just like there was a culture to it, and like
Yeah.
just like even sometimes you'd meet someone and be like, hey, can I take a hit?
Yeah.
And you know, sort of like make friendships
Yeah.
that way. And there was always the annoying guy that always asks for docha, never
Yeah.
bring it.
I remember in uni, I met this one guy, this local guy. He was much older than us. Like, I think he was doing, he's in master's degree or something, right?
Yeah.
And I you know, I had no docha left. I had my set and everything, but I didn't have any docha. And I asked him, and he's like, yo, this is clean. You know, try it out. Like, it's clean. I remember I smoked it, and he was walking away, and I was like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? Because I was gone, man. But, you know, every time I'd see him, he'd be like, oh, you're the guy who liked my docha. You know what I mean?
I can say for a fact, like in university, that was one of the like
Yeah, how you
big
make
sort
friends,
of
definitely.
yeah, because like if you even think about it, right, like you know, in my old uni, like there was Starbucks over here. There was also Starbucks,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like coffee. You don't really sit at Starbucks and then go like, hey, like you know, walk on whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you might like if let's say someone from your class, something like that. Whereas with smoking, I mean, not that I'm like saying guys start smoking so you can meet people. But I don't know. It definitely was. I mean, like the amount of random people I met
Yeah.
that weren't from class and stuff, dude. Smoking was like the thing,
Yeah.
man. You know, like it's
We
definitely.
did a lot of the socializing, at least in the early days, at like, you know,
Yeah.
shisha cafes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember getting ID'd when I was a kid, trying to get into shisha cafes to watch the games.
Because I mean, what do you
know.
think it is like for the kids now? Like, how do you think they're?
Oh,
sort of
now it's vapes, bro. Now it's vapes for sure.
Oh, but you think it's like, oh, hey, like try my vape?
Yeah. Because there's so many different kinds of vapes. You know, the disposable kind. You know, you got the big ones, you got the little ones, Salt Nick.
Is that a thing? Because like we know, like
Yeah,
say you
yeah.
can ask for a cigarette, you can ask for
Yeah,
maybe dog,
yeah.
maybe not like the pipe and everything, but you could ask for tobacco.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the thing. Because like even like my homie's little bro,
Mm-hmm.
they're like in what year 11, year 12, like you know, what 16, 17,
Mm.
and you know they have jokes and stuff like that. They'd be like, "Yo, I'm going into one of the jeweling stands." You know, it's like the bathroom stall. You know what I mean? Because that's where it is. And, you know, the jokes are like, oh, the bathrooms always smell. So even the boys' bathrooms smell nice now because it's just fruity, you know? And they all bring in their own vapes. And, like, you know, one of my friends, man, he had a watch that, like, if you press the button, the sort of screen comes out and it's a vape. I swear to God. And it shows you the time.
Let me guess, he bought it from Dragon Mart.
Yeah, everything comes from Dragon Mart. Yeah.
If you guys don't know, by the Dragon Mart, like I mean, it sounds like, you know, but it's basically this like a huge Chinese mall, and they just like you could find anything, you know, a wife, kids. Like, no, but like you could find legit anything. Like it's, you know, sometimes you know, like you think like, oh, I just go in there, maybe ask for like, you know, a rip off of like Beats or
Yeah.
you know, like some Bluetooth speaker, but not like they've thought of stuff like you didn't even think
They
of.
got
like,
they got every, they got car stereos. They got
Yeah.
they got audio equipment. I mean, I think the first time we recorded one of these, like one of the beta podcasts, was everything
yeah.
was from Dragon Mart. The soundboard, the wires, the stand, the
And there's
mic.
a reason we didn't upload it. But yeah, guys, like, so yeah, that's the spot. So damn,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, and that's the vape guys, the vape niche. That's what, you know, they pull up and everyone's like, that corner is like the BA section. BAJ,
Yeah.
like that sort of section in Dragon Mart, and guys just know why you're there. They're looking at you and they'll make faces. They'll be like, vape, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I ran into a couple of guys that I used to buy vapes from the old days, and it was all hugs and stuff. He's like, oh, why don't you come anymore? I was like, nah, man, you know, I stopped. I'm trying to cut down on the vape.
So why good for you?
Yeah, you know, it's not tobacco, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, but... Yeah, man.
It's scary though, like, cause you know, again, it's easy access, and again, like, you know, there's no footprint, so you can smoke wherever. There's no
Oh, yeah,
smell, nothing
yeah.
really. So, I'm assuming a lot of kids and stuff must
Yeah,
be like
man,
on
yeah,
it,
yeah.
like heavy.
Definitely.
And I guess like price wise, I guess it's more expensive. Is it?
It's,
more
it's pretty
expensive?
pricey, I'd say. Like, it's not cigarette price, you know. But not cigarettes are like.
But
people don't like
cigarettes
that
are
stuff anymore.
expensive. So, oh yeah.
No, people don't like that stuff because smell and all that, you know. But vapes are definitely. I'd say double the price of cigarettes, man. Especially the disposable kind. Like those Miley's, like we got at the house. A pack of 2 is like 50 dirham. You know.
Yeah.
Now even if we bargain, we get it down to like 40, something like that. That's still double the price of a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, like I remember we used to get those juices. They were like around 40, 50.
Yeah, no, the juices was okay. So we had those keep vapes, not the disposable ones.
Yeah.
And then, but dude, that was like coils plus. So that's about 100 dirhams every month and a bit. You know.
Oh, we just know that
But
what,
there was
5 packs of 6.
Yeah, but that was the initial investment as well, right? Of like 150 for the device
Yeah.
and whatever. You know.
Well, how much money you spent on 6 throughout the years?
I was never really a cigarette guy, honestly. I
Oh,
was
yeah?
more a docha guy. I mean, I did have my phase with cigarettes because I was like, oh, my cigarettes are better than docha. But I ended up just chaining packs like, on my homie's balcony. You know.
It's one of those things, especially when you're just like having those like, you know, those convos, which again, it's one of those things like, would I take away from it? Like, would I, you know, if I go back, would I not? Because I don't know, it's one of those things like you
Yeah.
could have those long convos, just like,
Oh yeah, we
sitting
just
somewhere having
we just sit and just chain, bro. Remember we
'Cause-
used to do that stuff with the what? Would you smoke back in the parliaments?
yeah, Parliament.
The parliaments, right? I remember you sitting down my building.
Yeah.
Just in the car, windows down, playing some Kanye, talking
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, just like, you know,
What's
like,
nice, yeah.
I remember once I think we just went to like the beach or something and like at
Oh
night.
yeah, gee, that was like
And-
from time, man. Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, like, because it's stimulus, you know? I don't know, like, because I can't imagine just like rolling around, like talking without like smokes. Like, there's been times, like, you know, even with like shawties, whatever, just
Yeah.
like drive around, windows down, like just smoking away,
Yeah.
like, you know, for like 2-3 hours and then like, whatever.
All that stuff's nicotine, man. Honestly, the nicotine makes you think differently. You know.
I don't even know if it's negative. I honestly just think it's like it's a habit thing. It's like, you know, you need because like if I'm just like somewhere and I'm having a conversation, you know, you need something. So that's why you see a lot of times they'll be like, let's get some food, some
Yeah.
shit like that,
I
right?
try to supplement it with like green tea. That's why I drink like 10 green teas a day. You know, that's light,
Yeah.
even sometimes more. You see it even at Philly and stuff, right?
Yeah,
You're always
yeah.
dishing out a lot of money. Like almost sometimes at some point it's like 100 dirhams a day on just tea. You know, Philly tea is like 6 dirhams a pop.
Dude, Starbucks.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That first trimester at uni,
Yeah.
dude, that was a madness, man. Dude, I swear, it was at least once a day,
Yeah.
if not more.
Yeah.
So like, do the math. Like that was like we was spending like stupid ton. I remember like you and I. So it was cigarettes, it was coffee, then it was tea, and it was
Yeah.
like,
just something to keep out. Cause I mean, like any normal kids in uni, instead of studying, we were skipping class and talking shit. Now we weren't skipping class though.
yeah, we weren't like.
We were just talking shit though. Talking a lot of shit.
I think it's also because when we started, the weather was nice. So
September,
people,
yeah.
so people wanted to be out and about.
Yeah.
And socializing and new people. It was nice, man. But yeah, man, that stuff is just, I mean, I've been off coffee now for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, coffee, tea, and stuff.
Oh for real?
Yeah, I don't know, it was just like I really felt like my heart rate was elevated and I didn't like it. So I was like, dude, F that, man. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, because if you get into the habit of that stuff, it messes with your sleep. Because you
Oh yeah,
you
that
find yourself drinking a coffee at like 7 at night, and you're like,
you actually just get too hooked on it. I remember like at that time in uni, I was legit, I couldn't function without it. Like I'd get a good night's sleep, work out, whatever, come to uni, and I'm still like, my eyes would just be, until I had that one sip of coffee, and I'm like, all right, let's do this.
yeah. So I was running to that at work a little bit. Those problems. Because I
Yeah.
wake up at like 6, and I usually stay in bed for like half an hour, just trying to like wake up, whatever, shower, and like get out the house. I go straight to my homie's house. If I leave at 7, I get there by 7:30 because of the morning traffic, and I'll have breakfast with the fam and like get
Oh,
some-
you still do like breakfast?
Yeah, I
your
tried
buddy?
to. I mean, I didn't get to do it on Thursday because I just woke up way too late. And whatever, and I'll head to the office, and I'll still be like groggy when I'm in the office. Sit down on my desk, I'm like, ooh, falling asleep.
What time you sleeping?
What time am I sleeping? Usually, I try to hit it around like 11, but you fall
Okay.
asleep by like 12:30, something like that. So a bit
Dude, because that's tough, no? 6 hours. Can you
yeah.
do that?
But see, the thing is, right? It's not because I'm tired. Because I'm awake. Like I have, I slept. I'm good. It's just because I
Yeah.
don't drink the water. So now you see, like with the Pocari Sweat in the water, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to keep hydrated and stuff. Because I know this, but I forget about it.
Yeah.
And I used to think like tea or coffee was the solution, but that stuff is just like I wouldn't wake up because I'd still be so dehydrated. And I remember I used to go to the All Day. I started going to the All Day supermarket, just like cop like 2-3 liters of water, just through the whole day in the morning, and then I'm like, oh, dude, I'm good, I'm fresh. And then around like just before lunch, like 11, I'll head downstairs and get, because Design District has got all those coffee places or whatever. And I'd just be like, yo, give me the strongest beans you got. I want something to wake me up. And yo, when you drink that good coffee and it's just one
Yeah.
sip and you're like, whoa, okay, I'm awake now. Let's go. So that's my routine.
So what's now we're at what, week 5?
Entering week 5 tomorrow. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
So what's the work life like
honestly,
progress?
man, honestly, it is not bad at all. It's pretty good,
You enjoying it?
Yeah, I definitely am. Look, I'll be real. Like, the subject matter of what I'm working on may not be my true passion. You know what I mean? Hotels and whatever. It's not really
Yeah.
like luxury lifestyle. It's not like a real thing.
Yeah.
But I like the work I'm doing. I like the style of work I'm doing. I like the pressure. I like the creativity. It's fun, definitely. If I give me the choice, if I could be doing this stuff at Porsche. So for you guys, it's a bit of a story. Like I had an interview with Porsche for the very similar PR gig. I just got way too cocky with that, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna be, I'm gonna carry it on my previous experience. I didn't get it, but this happened. But if I was doing this stuff at Porsche, because I'm into the cars and I'm into I like the work. I would have been on another, like I would have been like vomiting at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I just kind of take my time, do my stuff, be like, whatever, give it in.
Because I mean, so that's one thing that like, you hear a lot of people talk about it, and this whole thing that like how people like, especially you hear podcasts, movies where they like hate on these desk jobs.
Yeah.
And like I remember like I was even getting these ads like, oh, wasting how are you living like this in today's day, like wasting your life, working this, that, and blah. And I'm like, yo, guys, like this is because they make it seem like photography and this and that, like that's like the ideal way of living, like working this. But like I've seen so many people like they love their desk jobs, and like then there's this whole thing. But are you passionate? Are you happy? And it's like, because I mean, look, one thing is like we're in today's day and age where, at least I could say for like Western societies, things like that, like work life is good. Like they take care of you. You're not getting abused. You know, there's like a nice environment in the office, things like that. It's not like back in the days, right?
Mm.
You know, they do things for team building, blah blah. So it's like it's a nice place to be. They make it a nice place to be. You know, they sort of
they
take
do their best to sort of take away from
yeah,
all this irritating
like
part.
especially the good companies they do. Like obviously you're gonna find bad companies
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
but you know, if you get into a good company, like I know people who've done it like for a long time.
I mean, even the small stuff like every Thursday is like casual day,
Yeah,
so you get to pull up in like sneakers and jeans or
Yeah.
whatever, and they usually have like a cake or like some lunch or whatever, like just for the for the office,
yeah,
and just stuff like that. Just kind of at the end of the week, kind of makes you feel nice. But at the end of the day, like like I'm serious about that. If you're not really interested in it, it's gonna be really difficult to do.
yeah,
So I mean, if you do hit that, like if you do hit that sweet spot where you're like, oh, dude, I like what I'm doing and I like the way I'm doing it, then
yeah.
it's then you're gonna want to do it every day,
Yeah.
honestly.
And I think
You
it's
know?
also a balancing thing because like you know, like you could have a passion for something, let's say cars and stuff,
Mm.
and let's say you know the job that you do
Mm.
allows you
Mm.
to enjoy that outside of work.
Oh yeah,
So it's like you know, it's like
dude, I'd be so sure. First week at Porsche, I'd definitely be bringing home what's it called, like work and stuff. You know, I'd definitely be like, yo,
bringing
man.
home work. Oh yeah, can I get a Cayman S?
You got me there. But with this, it's kind of like I'm out of the office. I don't really think about it too much.
Okay.
Unless I have like some good momentum, maybe I'll stay an extra like 20-30 minutes to finish it off. But usually like I'm just like around 5:50. It's kind of like
So
okay,
so
let's
how's
wind
the
down.
experience? Has this swayed you now like to go towards studying PR in the future?
Yeah,
or-
definitely. I like the PR. I like this style of work, which is you have a bit of creativity on how to accomplish your goal. For example, we have to write like positioning documents for different hotels. So say we take like I don't know, Hotel X or whatever, right? And we study the demographics of. It's not necessarily demographics; it's more psychographics of people who want to go to these places.
Okay.
What kind of money they spend, what kind of clothes they're wearing, what kind of brands they value, how they associate themselves with, certain lifestyle or class or whatever, right? And is it more aspirational? Is it more like functional? Things like that. And we get all this data from whoever's in the hotels, like the marketing managers or whatever.
Okay.
They relay this to us, and then I will write a positioning document, which is essentially how we want to place the hotel. Is it more of a family hotel? Is it more of a ultra luxury hotel? Is it more of a businessy based hotel? Is it like a getaway? Is it a convenience stop? Is it an experience of itself? Like the hotel in the Maldives, I would say is like the
Getaway.
Maldives in general is like you know what I mean. But like this hotel, definitely you want to pull up and you want to go out of your way. You want to make this a trip just to stay at the hotel. So I will write like sort of the facts and figures. That's like copy paste stuff. But then I write like I write like the story of the location, the story of how the hotel was designed, the story of what a guest would do, what a guest would eat, some of the unique factors about this hotel. I'd select a lot of pictures from our archive and or Pinterest or whatever, or research some photographers who've taken great pictures and put them in this document to give us like a visual idea, very aspirational idea of what the staff and the way the hotel, like anyone at the hotel should be thinking about this hotel. Dude, that's awful English. Like, what's it called? Like, how do I say this? The way we want the hotel to be thought of, right?
Okay.
It's all staff. It's an in-house document, right? It's an internal document. So it doesn't go out to any press or anything like that, right?
Okay.
So it's just kind of like rules and guidelines. So we'll say, hey, we really like Hotel A to be a getaway hotel. So when you talk to the guests, when you interact with the guests, you treat them like they're in
So
a
like
land
create
away
an
from time.
aura basically.
Yeah, it's like world building. It's stuff
Okay.
like that. And that's just
That's
the position-
interesting,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's literally just those. That's just like one thing, right? Then I got like, okay, we got to plan interviews, like in-house interviews to market our brand or whatever. And what else do I do, man? There's a lot of visual stuff. There's a lot of pictures. I'm looking at pictures all day, man. I'm looking at models all day. I'm looking at spaces
Model?
all day. Yeah, definitely models. Yeah.
Wait, like
Yeah. So Sarah Laird Photography, the that website that like it has a bunch of photographers, and usually it's a lot of high fashion guys or like creative guys, and we're always on the hunt. So we're building like a global portfolio
Okay.
of like trusted videographers, photographers, full service model agencies, hair and makeup guys, food designers. You know what I mean? Like people who dress up food to look good when you take a picture. We're building like a comprehensive global portfolio, and we're still padding out some photographers for like Bali or Tokyo or whatever. You know what I mean? So. I'll be on Sarah Laird. I'll be looking at like all these different photographers. I'll be like, okay, we'll look for high fashion looks. I'll be looking at like models and like whatever work they've done, and trying to develop my eye, because usually I was just like, yeah, this looks good. I was criticized. I was like, yeah, you're taking very literal shots. You're picking very literal shots. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, it's like a hotel, the drink, the sunset, this, that. It's all in there. But like, what does it feel? What's the emotion? I'm like, man, what are you talking about, bro? But now I see it.
Yeah.
I get it, and I'm trying to develop that side of me.
I mean, I think one thing that just like really resonated with me now was that you said that food designer, and that's one of those things, guys. Like sometimes you sort of sit back and think like, what kind of jobs there are out there. Like imagine there's a guy out there who just does this for a living. Not that's a good or bad thing, but it's like that's dope. Like that's sometimes we'll be like, oh, like what is there to do, Like, oh, I want to get into AI, like like people just be on like some basics, but like that's the thing. Sometimes I just like talk to people who might even just work in like marketing or sales, but then their company is doing some madness, working on chemicals or this and that, and like now you said, like even just to put like an ad together, whatever, like the amount of people, things like that, even something like simple, sometimes you look at like an orange. And like the amount of people that are eating off of this one orange, it's crazy,
No, man, there's definitely a lot of work that goes into this. Like, I cannot pronounce the name of the food stylist is what it's called.
Okay.
I can't pronounce her name. It's very complicated. I keep seeing it. I just know what it looks like. It's like Muradin Fru or something like that. But dude, the way she makes food look, it's kind of like. I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't see it at first. Because, like back in the day, we would have laughed at this stuff, right? We would have been like, man, food stylist, like, what do you do? You know what I mean? But the way, I don't know, man, the way they plate things, the way they make it look, a lot of, you pick up a lot of little nuanced details about stuff, like the eye is drawn to like odd numbers, for example, like 3 dots of sauce and...
I think also like certain colors and stuff,
Yeah, certain colors to look for. Like even though there's like a bright, vibrant dish full of fruit and stuff like that, we may want to stay away from that because it doesn't really fit the image that we want. And man, it's hard work, man. And these people and they don't just work with us. They work with a bunch of different hotels, a bunch of different restaurants. So they're making decent money. And it's and I guess if you're into it, And dude, I'm telling you, man, it is hard work. It's not as simple as like you put this there, put this there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of like detail and like they use a lot of tools. They have a whole toolkit, stuff like that. Place this, there, place this. So that's what Michelin star chefs do.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is like how it's plated and how it looks and dude, there's a whole science behind it, man. Honestly, like put the protein at the bottom because it's gonna
It's a good experience, I think.
Honestly, and because we work a lot with the restaurants and the hotels because we want to bring them up to be like we want to be the best in food and beverage. In the entire hospitality industry. So we're really paying attention to the food. And I've been looking at a lot of food pictures and like, we the thing about food is we don't want other people's hands in it.
Yeah.
So if there's like someone like, pouring sauce on like fish, we want to get rid of that hand and just throw the sauce on the fish. Because then, people associate like, their hand touching, other people touching food, stuff like that. Things like if I have like, like a fish cake, just get the right amount of crust, get the right amount of golden brown, whatever. And if it's a fish cake with other stuff, we put like the protein at the bottom, carbs in the middle, etc. Whatever the thing. I'm not an expert, but that's cool, man. And that's actually how Michelin stars are awarded. They really pay attention to the style of the food, how it's plated. Things like I was researching the trends. Like in the early 2000s, elevation was a big deal, so people would actually really pile their food on. And then nowadays it became rustic, so people really like put like their food on like wooden, instead of plate like wooden blocks. Okay. And then things like asymmetry was a big one. Like have so much concentrated on this side but very little over this side.
Yeah.
So people pay attention to that stuff. People dish out money, bro. They dish out big stacks to go do that stuff.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, just the attention to detail, man.
Dude, so
These
nowadays
hotels.
everyone's like, yo, it's gotta fit in that sort of Instagram resolution, and that's a huge one, And then it's like,
So, are you guys like transitioning into like that side also?
So,
Or
I
you've
mean,
already been doing that.
I just pick the pictures.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like, in order to do that, I have to understand why it is
Yeah.
what they do, and like, I need to know what is good.
Mm.
You get me? I need to be trained in what is good and what is bad.
Mm.
So I dived into that world, and in time, I'll be going to photo shoots. I'll be going to, I'll be going to watch all the stuff take place, and then pick the pictures, and maybe even suggest angles. Like if I have the balls to do that.
I mean, do you think there's like part of it that's because now internet age,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of transparency, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think with things like these, with like with this whole photography and they're like so thing about it, like whereas like okay, if I see a brochure, like let's say I want to go on a trip
Yeah.
on Antara, Maldives,
Yeah.
open up the website, and it's the typical, the water is like this majestic green,
Right.
and
So that's the thing.
like
all those touch ups and stuff
Yeah.
like that. The kind of people we want
yeah,
wouldn't necessarily like that. Because even this day and age, when trends catch on,
yeah.
they usually like been like
Because
the concept has been running for the past decade, but it's only now become
Because for
mainstream.
me, for example, like that wouldn't say much. If I open
Yeah.
one of those typical websites, I'm like, no shit, you're gonna show like a cocktail and there's like the ice and
Yeah,
umbrellas
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
And I don't know. Do you think like now with this age, like you think they're gonna sort of?
I think definitely a lot of
innovate?
people our age would probably hit up like Instagram and check out reviews. Oh, like look at like sort of candid shots of the hotel, TripAdvisor. You have all these things, all this access. But at the end of the day, when you're in the mood, when you're in the zone, say man, I give you like $1 million to spend.
Yeah,
First thing you want to do is take a hotel. You're gonna look at the places that you want to envision yourself in.
yeah,
You're gonna look at the places where like it could be if you're a celebrity kind of guy. You look at which other celebrities go in there. You be like, oh, I want to be like Channing Tatum, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
he's doing this, or I don't
Channing
know. It's Magic Mike, man. I don't know.
Drake had that line, right?
Got so many chain, they call me Channing Tatum.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, but like I don't know if people are. What's that thing they do in Abu Dhabi, man? In the Anantara there, you can kayak through the mangroves,
Okay.
and that's a very Instagrammable thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's if you see that, and if you see like some beautiful pictures of like that look natural enough, like
Yeah.
the model's got hair isn't perfect, but it's like it's a natural kind of thing, and she's like
Yeah.
some sort of normal looking girl.
Yeah.
And some guy who's not like super jacked, but he's like, all right, you wanna project yourself onto that and be like, yo, that's the joint I want to go to, and that's what we're looking for.
I mean, do you think these hotels and stuff could sort of maybe? I mean, one thing for sure is obviously even the hotels that they're getting on the scene of, these travel vloggers, things like that.
Yeah.
Certain people who are like Instagram profile, they'll go check out hotels, shit like that. But like, just to maybe somehow market that more real experience, almost in a way, because like I say, so I mean, I guess like let's say here, obviously. We know there's a good standard of hotels.
Yeah.
But let's say tomorrow, like, for example, let's say Marrakesh, right? And this is a place that's, it's not like the luxury spot, like everyone's going to Marrakesh, right?
Yeah.
But, we've heard, we've seen celebs go there,
Yeah.
make albums, whatever, right?
I know the line you're referencing. I'll be at Marrakesh smoking hashish with
the
my fellowship.
Tom Ford.
No,
That was on the Magna Carta Holy Grail. That's
Jay-Z.
yeah. Smoking hashish with a fellowship. But yeah. So anyway, so a place like that, like, obviously, I'd go online and, they could show you those sort of, like Arabian style buildings and blah, blah, and you'd be like, yo, this shit is lit, man. And then, so I feel like that kind of thing, like, I'd like to, definitely, because again, like you're traveling, you have no idea, you don't know anyone. You're going there, you're paying in advance, things like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I do think, like, is there a way maybe some of these hotels sort of try to maybe just like on their like Instagram page, whatever. Maybe take like iPhone pictures,
Yeah,
just to show like how
with
real
you.
and raw this is.
Yeah, I mean, you follow any hotel, honestly, they'll have some sort of, some bits on their story. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? At least if they're any good at what they do, they'll have some own natural stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, even now on Instagram and stuff, man, you've seen those doctored images of like,
Mm.
you see like the bad thing in the bathing suit, like with the drone and you know what I mean, stuff like that. And just living like that, $30,000 experience, but making it feel like it's something you can do. You know, it's very far from the reality.
Yeah.
So I think it's also on us to kind of discern what is real and what is not. And I think now we definitely kind of know.
Yeah.
I think maybe like a couple of years ago, everyone would, Instagram hit really hard and everyone was like all time low. They're like, oh man, look at this guy's life. But now I think all of us know like what the reality is. Or at least
I mean, I don't know. There's still, there's this whole narrative. Like now there's this whole thing that I think Instagram, they're going to remove the likes.
Yeah.
And I was listening to another podcast actually, and he made a good point in a way. He's like, other people can see your like, but you know what likes you're getting.
Yeah.
So like, if you was getting 10 likes before, and like now you're getting like you still know like one kind of thing. And one guy, I was actually JME, by the way. He was on, shout out Halfcast podcast.
Okay.
We spread the love.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he, I think he gave an example of like, imagine your bank account, right? Like it was out in public, so everyone can see, up and down, whatever, and like it's hidden. So it's kind of like that. Like how much money you have, but at least like, other people aren't seeing. So I guess like in a way it does, but. There is this, they all say like, oh, it's depressing because you're, which I kind of do understand, because if you are seeing people like living a good life, I mean, we can sit here and say like, oh yeah, they're just like painting a picture, but like, you still paint a picture, like, for me, like that's that side of that person that I see. And obviously, like, I guess for us, like, we have the eye for it, like we know as. Oh, all your Instagram picture only have girls in them? Okay.
No, I mean, obviously, yeah, shout out to r/Instagram reality on the subreddit. But that really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I was such a dumbass, man. I didn't even know what, like, a no makeup look was, you know what I mean? It's stuff like that, And that's just me, bro. Now imagine the girls out there, like, feeling like that's the standard of beauty. And then, you just see the highlight reels. You see all the good stuff, people go to like the club,
Oh yeah, like even what they're eating, like no one's posting like out of Burger King, like it's all just like, oh yeah, I was at this fancy
finest stuff,
Nusret,
it's all just for the gram. And I don't know, man, this whole flexing culture is very. I'm not gonna pretend like if we had it, I'd like to think we wouldn't do it as much.
But we've had like some flex-worthy experiences.
Yeah, definitely. There's some things I really like to flex, like when I'm with the friends. You know what I mean? When I'm with like a group of guys and we're all having like.
Do you respect like let's say you had a buddy.
Yeah.
And all his gram was just like in my whip, the Submariner on my wrist, and whatever, like just the. Yes, I'm out here in the Waldorf Astoria, like
So the real is yes and no. All right. Now you know how much I look up to like Floyd Mayweather, and that guy just flexes like professionally.
But we know that, like,
that's the thing, right? So we know that's Floyd, right?
No, but I don't even think. I think for him it's the character.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, he doesn't just do that to get girls. Like,
it's got purpose. It's got like it makes sense for him because it's like his business and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And of course, he's a billionaire, you know what I mean? But like, if it's what I kind of have a bit of an issue with, which of course isn't too deep. It's like, do it if you want to do it, but I'm just gonna like, maybe bat you an eye.
Yeah.
Is, pulling up to a joint for the first time in your life, never been there before, and just taking a story like, yo, we do this every day. This is our daily, you know what I mean? Which is like, I mean, it's not look, obviously at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. But my take is just a little like, I'm gonna be a little irked. And of course, everyone's out there like, mind your damn business. Why you care about what other people are doing?
So let's say you're Mandem, right? Your buddy, posting up pictures and stuff like this.
Yeah.
At the club, table, blah, blah, all this shit, right?
Yeah.
Clearly painting a picture because you know this guy.
Yeah.
Does it change how you feel? Do you just be like, all right, I know he's doing this for the girls?
No, honestly, not really. Like, because I mean, a lot of the way we market ourselves as people nowadays it's no longer like word of mouth or whatever, a rep. It's just Instagram. Sure, those things play a part, but everyone's looking at the gram first. Everybody stalks each other. That's why they removed that bit where you could see what other people are liking.
Oh yeah.
You know, because that was a tool a lot of people use, man. You know, you can see what people like and then, you know, approach from that angle.
True.
Definitely, I've done it.
I mean, yeah. I
I've
mean,
done it.
I think in general, I mean, like I'm sure, like if we like, let's say we met someone,
Yeah.
we'd be on the
You
gram
check
and
them out.
then
Yeah, you check
it's
them
like,
out.
oh, even you like Scarface, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, whatever, you know what I mean?
oh, it's what a coincidence! My favorite movie too, The Notebook. You know, like,
Yeah, most of it was for girls, but then, I mean, then, you know, you kind of lose that privacy part of you. And there's a couple things I like to put up when I'm with the family, when I'm with the boys, when I'm, you know, doing some stuff that I find fun.
yeah,
And that would just might, I don't know, I guess look good.
yeah,
But I wouldn't flex things like designer clothing or whatever. Now, of course, if that's your brand, if that's your marketing, if you know, if you're like an influencer and you want to flex like
Yeah.
an ultra luxury lifestyle, look, man, I don't want to get in the way of I couldn't even get in the way of anybody making any money and making a name
Yeah.
for themselves. But it's just like one of those things, you know what I mean? Like, say you met a girl and yeah, she's like a bad thing, but you see all her stories are like, yeah, just got my new Gucci shoes. I paid this much for it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Just like, I don't know, man. I like my privacy. That's what kind of guy I am. So I mean, people gonna do what they want to do,
Yeah.
and that's cool. But just I probably wouldn't like to associate too closely if someone did
Yeah.
that too seriously. You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, like, I was actually just like, because I was listening to that part, I was thinking about it. Like, I guess like the biggest sort of influence I had when it came to like social media and stuff, like, is one of my OGs actually. And this guy, like, I mean, I knew him. I think in like I first met in like 2011.
Yeah.
I knew him for a couple of years, and this is about like at this time, you know, smartphones are you know everywhere, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But he still like just had like a burner, and not because he's like a dealer or anything, but he just like wasn't like in the tech world, and he never. And the thing that I liked about him like a lot was like he didn't feel like he needed them
Yeah.
because he was living life.
Yeah.
He was getting girls. He was like, you know, living the best life, and you know, enjoying experiences, blah blah. When we'd be out, it wasn't just like, oh yo, like it's
Yeah.
a nice spot. Like it was like not even, you know, on his
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
And I respected that. And like there was this sort of old school OG like manliness vibe about it. It was like
Yeah.
this is like some, you know, some kid shit. Like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I seen him live that good life without that shit.
Yeah.
And you know, just like other things, you know, he told me, just like even things with flexing and things like that, you know, it was just like, he's like, dude, at the end, it's just important, like, you know, I know what I have,
Yeah.
you know, because that's why, you know, you get the inner sense. You know, just like small things. I mean, you know, I know him when I was a kid. Not a kid, but like, you know, I was pretty young. And so that's sort of like influence. So I think like just from that, like, I kind of want to be like that and sort of just like, it's like kind of like whatever, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's not something that's required.
Yeah.
And
man.
because it's one of those things you will sort of end up trying to paint a picture.
Oh, dude, I've seen it, man, firsthand. I've seen some of my homies, like, especially the youngins, will completely, like, doctor a situation, you know? They'll be like, yo, take a picture of me doing this. And I'll be like, yo, but that ain't even your car, you know? Or, like, one of my homies, he said this thing to me. He was like, yo, I got this one video of where I just look like, he said, I look really good, the lighting's good. And I'm in one of my other homies' mattresses, which just looks like stupid opulent, you know what I mean? He's like, I got that one video, and every time like a new girl follows me on Instagram or something like that, I post this video, and I'll be like, "You serious, bro?" He's like, "Yeah, man."
Seriously?
He's like, "I've had it for a year, and every time there's some new thing who gets into my DM, I post this video, and they all ask about it. They'll be like, "Oh, is that your house? Is that this? Whatever?" And he'll be like, "Yeah." You know, I mean, now he's in a relationship and stuff. He doesn't do that anymore, but like he definitely used to do that.
But then you see, is it then again one of those things where it's like if society is pushing you to do
That's the thing, right? It's like your crowdsource. Shout out Kanye, man. Check my Instagram comments. The
crowdsource
crowdsource my
self-esteem.
self-esteem.
Let me not say too much or do too much.
There we go, right? I mean, it's like a whole image, man. And obviously, like a lot of like my little homie and stuff, like, you know, my bro's little brother.
Yeah.
Well, not my homie's little brother. They're 16, 17. Like, it's all about social media for them, you know? He comes out, he'll Snapchat the guys, send it to some girls. It's like painting a picture. Always, you know what I mean? Like, the reality is very far from that. And I'm like, I tell him sometimes, you know, I try to big bro him a little bit. I'll be like, look, man, as long as you know what you're doing and you're not getting lost in all this, it's cool. You know? Another thing is like, bro, you don't know how much you value your privacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Because once that's gone, man, it's hard to get back. You know, I don't. The
But
last
is it a thing? Because isn't it like you choose to like post and stuff? So
yeah, of course,
what is like
of course, you. That's the thing, right? So like, people aren't necessarily thinking about it
yeah
a lot of the time. You just snap some random stuff, whatever,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and then people look and they'll make their own deductions about
yeah,
it, and then they'll approach you from that situation, you know. So especially out here, man. Say like you got a shot of like something like a Barbican bottle, which is like a
Yeah.
non-alcoholic beverage, but then someone thinks it's a beer,
yeah.
and then the word spread. It's like it's drama, it's gossip, whatever. And sure, that's
Yeah.
some kid stuff, definitely.
Yeah.
But then when you're running in sort of like elite circles or whatever, and word travels fast,
Yeah.
it can really damage you.
Mm.
You know, especially in conservative.
Yeah.
In a conservative culture like this one.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that. I mean, like Desi culture in general too is also
Yeah.
like a conservative culture, and
Yeah.
like, and all the aunties are like, they're shooters, man. They're on the gram, they're on Facebook, and you see, and I've seen people slip up like, hey, in Vegas, like, not like in Vegas, but just like, hey, like partying or whatever, and and then it's like, ooh, Shweta, I saw her,
I think she's with boys only, some stuff like that.
I saw him with the African,
Yeah.
and that's just like a whole nother
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So we're approaching an hour, so we end the podcast on. I just wanted to ask you. Yeah.
That was fast, man. That was fast, bro.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you. So you were talking about PR and stuff, and
Yeah.
you could see a future in it. So I think we mentioned before, but just to remind you guys. So you used to work in a sort of journalism firm,
Yeah, we could say
I
that.
guess, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, that was like you said, hey, this is what I want to study.
I
go
said
to the-
that's what I want to do
go
for
to
the
the
rest of my life.
States, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So like, obviously now new experience, new company. What's like your mindset?
What's my
now?
mindset?
Yeah.
Okay, so coming from that journalism gig straight out of uni,
Yeah.
that was like 4 months of my life. And I honestly, I would tell Famo, I'd be like, yo, man, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I see myself like pulling up to war zones and like talking about it, writing about it. I love the pressure of the everyday. And then that didn't work out, and then I was like chilling, and now I'm here doing PR. Honestly, my answer has not changed too much, because I really want to do work that I feel matters.
Okay.
Because like right after my previous gig, I was like, yo, I want to work at the UN, and I started crafting my applications or whatever, and I was looking at this stuff, but I was like, dude, this feels like a scam, what I mean? Like, you have to pay for an internship, and you put yourself up and whatever. I was like, dude, this feels like
But
scammy.
one thing was so I don't know exactly what they were doing,
Yeah.
but it looks like they're having a blast, because I see some of the UN events and there's all these models and they're just glamorous, tits out, everything. It's just like, it's a vibe, and I'm just like, yo, like, fucking hell, I want to be in the UN too, man.
Nah, man. I really want to do like that sort of meaningful work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least I feel that's the sort of guy I am.
And that's the journalism. That's what you think.
That's what I thought. Like I always educating the masses, things like that.
Yeah.
Sort of delivering relevant content. That's what I thought I'd be doing. That's what I really like to be doing. And the PR thing is definitely giving me a lot of skills, for sure, man. This thing is it's not an easy field, There's a lot of things I'm learning, which I feel will definitely translate over to what I eventually want to do. Actually, I think when I was looking at grad schools in Boston, one of the courses was public relations and diplomacy.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, that's something I might want to do.
Not just like
if it's not journalism, I want to do stuff that that makes impact, so like diplomacy, maybe even politics, maybe even like politician in India, you know what I mean? No,
seriously?
No, not like that. I don't want to be I don't like being the star man. I definitely want to do the behind the scenes stuff,
No,
But,
I mean, there's, I don't know, is that you think you'd go back home like?
No. I like the old country, but it's it's not my joint.
All right.
So where we're at now, 23-year-old with some dreams, man. We'll see what
man.
one.
On that note,
On
we'll
that
end this
note.
podcast. So guys, please, I'm gonna add like a email where you guys can sort of send us some questions. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you got just like any feedback, you can comment down below, of course. You know,
if we suck, tell us we suck. Straight up.
yeah, straight up, guys.
Straight up, dude.
And just
do
like,
it.
hey, like, you know, maybe you got some issue to talk about. Maybe we can sort of help you out with it. Like,
defo, man. Whatever.
and also, guys, please, like, with the name, so far we've come up with Diet Soda Podcast. You know, he's obviously very sold on it. I'm still a bit like on the edge. I'm not too sure, but yeah, guys, you know, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast.
Look at us, man. Crowdsourcing our work.
It's all about you guys.
All right, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna turn to Dwayne Johnson now. China, you know, without you guys, like, you know, he's just like.
Don't get me started on that guy. All right, man. All right.
All right,
Take care,
guys.
guys.
Take care, guys.
See you next week, hopefully.
Peace.
Peace.